What's the most embarrassing slash cringy thing you've accidentally shown someone, or something they accidentally saw while using your phone or computer? Had the minister of my church at my house. He wanted to upload music from his laptop onto my Zune. Tells you when this was. He turns it on and the Zune immediately displays a topless picture of my fiancée, a girl he's known since birth, having been best friends with her parents. He just clears his throat and says, "I didn't see that." The rest of my time with him that day was incredibly awkward, but he never brought it back up again. He is a good man and the Lord shall not condemn him for heresy. Me and my friends played this game in high school where we'd send each other the most vile, disgusting images we could find. We would all be playing Xbox, get bored, and someone would send some nasty shit to indicate the game has begun. We'd stop once everyone agreed that the last thing sent couldn't be topped. It almost always devolved into porn of various pop culture icons, usually in video games or cartoons. One time, my uncle called me in the middle of this game. We chat, and he asks to speak to my mom. I give my mom the phone, completely forgetting about what's happening. I go back to my Xbox, hear my troglodyte friends giggling about what they're sending, and start looking for my phone. Oh. Fuck. I run downstairs after I remember that Pandora's box of animated atrocities is opening up in my mother's ear right now. As I turn the corner, we lock eyes. Shock and disgust. She turns the phone to me, and on the screen, clear as day, is an image of Wario in a BDSM leather suit farting on a nude Princess Peach. I took the phone and never said a word. Never heard a word about it either. I went back upstairs, and kept playing the game.
That would be when my sister saw my vag. We recently reconnected. We had been estranged because of my absolutely insane mother. We were laughing, talking, just generally catching up on 20 years of life, and of course we were showing one another pictures of our families/houses/friends. I thought, oh, I'll pull up Google Photos because then she can just open albums and see each person or whatever all at a time, and I forgot that one of the albums is called Naughty and Google Photos chose a very naughty pic for the album cover despite my begging it to choose another. I had the app open to an album of kid pics when I handed it over. She closed the album, swiped to see what other albums she wanted to look at, and I heard, "Oh." She told her fiancé we got to know one another really well in that first meeting.
I already touched on that lol. Google Photos really needs to fix their shit, ha ha ha. Like allow albums to be password protected with no thumbnails.
Right? It's almost enough to make me stop pussy. Who am I kidding? I'm their puppet, goddammit.
I was helping a man with some kind of intellectual impairment download a Bible app onto his phone. I had to go into his browser to search something for him, and it was all porn. About 50 tabs open, each showing what term he'd put into Google, and the search terms were the kind that a 10-year-old would use. I finished getting him the app and attempted to peace out, although not before having to tactfully decline giving him my phone number.
When I sold cell phones, there was a guy that always came into the store. He had a picture of a girl spread eagle as his lock screen wallpaper. He always tried to get one of the female salespeople to help him. After the first time he came in, they would all run to the back when we saw him walking up. Myself and the other guys would have to listen to him about the hot little piece of ass he had the day prior.
Way back when, I was playing a bunch of World of Warcraft. This was back when people were making funny machinima YouTube videos constantly, and I had them downloaded to my computer so I could show my friends. Then one day, I set up a very early version of Plex, video streaming software, on my computer, and I hook up my TV for a small party. Little did I know, Plex scans your media library and then runs out to the internet to find a cover image that Plex thinks matches your movies, so that you have a thumbnail to click when you want to watch that video. For some of my WoW YouTube videos, it found pictures of orcs and elves fucking, and threw that up on the screen. The girl I liked at the party, what the fuck is that? Me, borderline speechless, I have no fucking idea. Handed my mom my phone to show her a picture of something or other. Didn't think. Next thing I know, she starts swiping. Mom, you need to stop. Right now. Swipe, why? I never get to see your pictures. Swipe, swipe, stop, attempt to grab phone, look of horror on mom's face, because I have pictures of my dick on there.
My mother-in-law does this. Whenever I want to show her something, I slightly zoom in on the image and it just moves it around instead of going to the next one. IT guy here. Way back in the day I was using Netscape, which had this feature of popping up the last site you were on. I believe this was default. Anyways, I had legitimately been doing some research on hacking since I was the administrator for a small web hosting company, so of course the sites I hit were chock full of pop-up ads with porn. So some Monday my boss and another woman, I think she was basically the EA, wanted to look at something on my computer, so I go sure, NP. Fire up Netscape and bam, up pops like 8 chicks in a line all giving blowjobs. I was pissed. Luckily they believed my story, I think, but still, embarrassing. Other than that, nothing. I'm not stupid enough to use a work phone or computer to look at art. Also LPT, if you're attached to your work VPN, don't be browsing the naughty bits.
One of the first thing I did when we had to start working from home was to set my personal computer and work computer to have different backgrounds/desktops so I wouldn't accidentally use the wrong machine. I have 2 laptops both wired into my monitors, so it would be an easy mistake to make since I used to use the same background/aesthetic for both machines. In my younger years working in desktop support, we had a guy complaining that his computer was running slow. It was literally full of horse porn. This was back in the 90 MHz Pentium days and long before people had anything better than a 57.7 baud modem in their house. I had to show my boss and point out that obviously, this guy was using company bandwidth. We had a fractured T1 at the time that we paid out the nose for, to download non-work related material onto his company laptop. Clearly in the office. This was also the same dude who got caught putting breast milk in his coffee. So there may have been a few issues there.
Was this his partner's milk that he borrowed, or was he stealing from coworkers pumping at work? Because one of these is way more wrong. This one's a double whammy. Last year I was rear-ended very bad. I was in the process of moving, so I had lazily left some stuff in the trunk and back seat. In the back seat there was like trash bags of clothes, boxes of DVDs/games/PC hardware, etc. There was also the big paper Victoria's Secret bag that I kept all my sex toys in. Because the dude that hit me was doing nearly 80 and I was at a complete stop, everything that wasn't in a trash bag exploded and went everywhere. So when the police arrived to search my car, I guess to make sure I wasn't drinking since I'd been at a dead stop on the freeway, long story LMWO, they were greeted with a vast array of random things, including my stash of sex devices. They had a good laugh and assured me it wasn't the weirdest thing they'd seen. Honestly, I needed the laugh too, but it was still hella embarrassing. Once that was over, my car was towed to a record yard to be held until I collected my stuff from it. My mom insisted on helping me and I didn't want to hurt her feelings by saying no. So I let her come and quickly bagged all the sex stuff before she even got out of the car. Crisis averted. Although everyone at that record yard 100% saw it, a couple of weeks later, my mom was helping me unpack my stuff from the move and she grabbed a bag of stuff that had been in my car. I didn't think anything of it, I was busy. All of a sudden she says she found a dog collar and starts explaining that it must be one of her dogs because she's missing one, but stops her sentence short and I immediately knew what happened. I look over and she's holding the chain part of a ball gag with nipple clamps attached to it. Thank God she put the bag down and moved on. And that's the story of how 4 police officers, a bunch of salvage yard workers and my good Christian mother found out I am a sexual deviant. Editing because everyone is curious. I was rear-ended because it was very dark and as I was merging from another highway up a hill, I saw a person on the other side of the hill standing in the middle of my lane who turned out to be a homeless man who was very much on drugs. I stopped just in time to not hit him, but he wouldn't move from in front of my car, so I had to sit there until he did. By the time he shuffled away and I was ready to hit the gas again, I got hit. He walked a good distance away from the wreck he caused and proceeded to stare at the guardrail until the police arrived, then he hopped off the highway and disappeared. I've included a photo of the wreck with the man standing just above my passenger mirror under streetlight staring at the guardrail for your enjoyment. I was on the receiving end of seeing something I shouldn't have. Early on when I was working at Geek Squad, a girl and her boyfriend came in with a MacBook saying she was having trouble emptying the recycle bin. I, forgetting that Macs don't have a right-click button on the trackpad, Clicked the right side of the trackpad thinking it would bring up the menu to empty the bin. You have to click with 2 fingers to get the right click options to show, just like a Windows computer. Except it didn't, and the trash bin opened. Inside there were dozens of pics of this girl's tits, spread eagle, asshole. Everything. I saw everything.
The girl was on the other side of the computer and didn't see anything I was doing, but at this point I was freaking the fuck out, and of course the computer froze for what felt like 10 minutes, while the trash bin folder was still open, showing all her nudes. During this time, the girl's extremely muscular, juiced-out boyfriend walked up asking her how things were going. Once he asked, she started grabbing the computer to turn it towards her. Thankfully by the time she grabbed the laptop, I was able to close out and empty the trash bin. She asked how much it would be. I told her no charge and went on my way. I went into the back and my boss said I looked like I had just seen a ghost. I told him what happened and he was just laughing at me the rest of the day. Bet you learned how Macs work real quick, huh? Yep, I did.
If you like the content, then like and subscribe for more.